Yo, what is going on YouTube? I am Germ here. I know I gave you guys a break, just a one video break off some G2 news, some G2 craziness yesterday. And don't worry, I have recorded another non-G2 video as well that will be coming out later today. But there is a little bit more G2 stuff we need to talk about. This is another big update to the Reckless situation. I know we've covered some of Bloop's tweets. We've covered, what some of the rumors, speculation, all that stuff going around is. But there was another tweet that people were sending to me that people were wanting to get me to give my thoughts and opinions on, another tweet that people wanted me to cover that kind of throws another curveball into this whole situation. It makes this all a little bit crazier and it brings some validity to a lot of the things that we have been hearing. It does kind of make a lot of this more legit because there's still people at the end of the day who are going to say, oh, it's just rumor accounts, oh, it's just BS, oh, it's still September, oh, wait and see. Well, one, it's October now, so we're getting a little bit closer to the good stuff, to Worlds and the official offseason and all that. But two, this is a much more official source, so I think that makes this all a little bit interesting. It's definitely something we need to talk about. So definitely drop a like if you guys do enjoy this video. I would appreciate it a ton. Subscribe to stay up to date on all my latest content. Let's hit 10,000 by the end of the year, and consider checking out my Patreon, patreon.com/IamJerm. With that being said, here we go. So just to kind of catch you guys up on everything that has been going on, just to give context to this tweet, because I don't really think it would make much sense without it. Bloop, on September 28th, this is just a couple of days ago, he starts off by dropping this big bomb on us. Almost 10,000 likes on League of Legends Twitter. Very, very big deal. He said Reckless will not be a part of G2 Esports LEC team in 2022. He would go on to say that he is 100% confident about this. He is not saying this is a rumor. He is saying Reckless will not be on G2 in 2022. Period. That is at least what Bloop is saying. Again, he's a very, very well-respected reporter in this field, in this industry. He usually gets a lot of stuff right. He is usually, obviously, he's gotten stuff wrong occasionally. He's even been wrong, once this offseason so far. But overall, he's very, very reliable. He has a name and a reputation to uphold. He then went on to say that one of the main reasons of the team and player parting ways is the fact that both Jankos and Caps didn't want to play with Reckless another year. He did say that Caps has already renewed his contract. Jankos is expected to renew his contract, which is also a big deal. That means Jankos is going to be locked up for even more years for G2, which means we can hopefully expect to see Jankos playing professionally for more than just next season. There's been some rumor and speculation about maybe him retiring, maybe him streaming, whatever. And that's going to be cool once he eventually gets to that point. But I want to see Jankos playing professionally as long as we can, as long as he's still doing good. And in 2021, he was still good. So 2022, 2023, whatever. Give me some more Jankos in professional play. I'm all about that. But again, if Jankos and Caps are both renewed to G2 and they both say they won't play with Reckless, then Reckless must be gone. And that's where this 100% stuff comes from. The interesting stuff, starts here. He says, I understand some of you don't like this information, but trust me, I wouldn't let you guys know if it wasn't key to understanding why Reckless and G2 are parting. Also, I didn't say they hate each other or something. Sometimes players don't work well together, and that's fine. Some additional context and information in this scenario is that coming out from Esports Maniacos, what they said is, it's their understanding in this situation that it was more so Jankos than Caps. Maybe Caps played a little bit of a part in it, but they believe most of this is coming from Jankos and him saying, I don't want to play with Reckless anymore. If you guys want me to renew, get that 2023 and beyond onto my contract, I can't keep playing with Reckless. This isn't going to happen. I don't know what his threats were, if he was threatening retirement, if he was threatening going to NA, whatever. But pretty much, he was giving them, the it's him or me type thing. And, there's some conflicting reports. Again, Bloop says it's Caps and Jankos. Esports Maniaco says it's more Jankos. But whatever, again, it doesn't mean they hate each other. It just means they are all fierce competitors at the end of the day. They want to win. They want to play at the highest level. That's not what happened this season. And, again, this isn't them necessarily saying Reckless sucks. It's just saying they don't think they fit in well with him. They don't think he fits in well on G2, whatever. But the big bomb here and the interesting thing coming out is that Selfmade said, you should tell people how Reckless got to know about that. And Bloop tweets out some skulls, so obviously Bloop knows a little bit something more what's going on here. Obviously Selfmade knows a little bit of something what's going on here, and that obviously means that Selfmade was informed about this situation from somebody inside of G2, somebody close to G2. There's even been some rumor and speculation that it could have been Reckless himself, obviously, that tipped off Selfmade. Now, there have been some rumors in the past that maybe Selfmade and Reckless don't get along super great, but we have also heard that Vitality has already expressed their interest in Reckless, and Vitality already has Selfmade. They locked him up for, I think, another year, maybe 2 more years this past offseason. So, Selfmade is there to stay on Vitality, and if Vitality's interested in Reckless, that must mean Selfmade is okay with playing with Reckless at the very least, and at the most that they have a good relationship and that he wants to play with Reckless. Some people were making note of this, that maybe some of the Reckless and Selfmade, beef or clashing or bad relationship or whatever, maybe that's a little overplayed. Maybe that is a little bit inaccurate. Maybe Reckless and Selfmade have been talking a little bit. And maybe this whole thing increases the chances of Reckless heading to Vitality, getting to play with his buddy Selfmade. But either way, obviously it seems like there was something a little more spicy to this whole situation. Now, I don't know if we're ever going to find out the truth. I don't know if this is ever going to leak out. I don't know if Blue or Selfmade or Reckless or any of these guys are ever going to talk about exactly what happened. But Eros here said, are we talking about the phone call? Everyone's saying, please give us context. Nobody else is really saying anything. Nobody else has explained the situation better. But it sounds like, G2, Carlos, maybe Caps, maybe Yanko, somebody might have done Reckless pretty dirty. They might have, told him that he was no longer going to be on the team in a pretty weird way. Maybe they caught him off guard because, again, at some point in this offseason, just maybe a week ago, maybe just a couple of weeks ago, all signs were pointing to G2 and Reckless sticking together at least for one more season, at least into the near future. Reckless was actually going to go represent G2 at the World Group drawing. How Yankos, pulled out all the groups and he got all the memes and stuff. That was originally supposed to be Reckless. And that means that at that time, Reckless and the team were on a good page. That means that they were, in a good relationship. They were in good standing, and that also they saw, Reckless as a big part of their organization and somebody that they felt confident enough in having them represent themselves on a big stage like that. You don't do that with somebody that you're about to kick like a couple days or a couple weeks later. Obviously something fell through. Obviously something happened. And I just think it's really, really interesting and really funny. Obviously Selfmade is a guy who loves to stir the pot, a guy who loves to put himself in the middle of things. But I do think that this is true. I think he's doing this, but also, because he knows something happened here, because there is something more to the story. And, I think this is really, really troubling and really problematic for G2. And that's why I kind of think this is a big deal, that this is another instance of a bad story coming out about G2, about Carlos, something they're doing wrong, some way they're doing to, mistreat players or rub players the wrong way or go about things in the wrong way. And if G2 just keeps doing this stuff, if they keep, running up their reputation for doing things wrong and doing wrong by players and doing wrong by people in their team, which we've now heard a couple off seasons in a row, that could really spell bad for G2 in the future. Right now it's okay because G2 is seen as a huge brand, a huge team, huge popularity, huge fan base. They're, one of the teams to play for. But if they go through an extended period of not winning, which might be ahead for G2 in the very near future, if they stop winning and they stop being this, luxurious brand that everyone wants to come play for and everything, and they continue on with this bad reputation of just how it is to play for them and the bad things they're going to do and how they're going to treat their players and how they're going to keep people in contract hell and all this stuff, that could really be a bad sign for G2 going forward in the future. It could be a bad sign for Carlos going forward in the future. That at some point you're going to have to treat people right if you want more and more people to come play for you, especially the top talent, especially people with other options. For now, G2's fine, but this is just another kind of instance of a big thing coming out. And I'm very, very curious. I know a lot of other people are curious. I hope we get the truth. I hope we get the full story about what exactly went down in terms of Reckless finding out, how he was going to be kicked from G2 or why he was going to be kicked from G2 or whatever, because it sounds like there's something spicy there, and I'm glad that Selfmade, I'm glad Selfmade is self-made, pretty much is what I'm saying. But that is pretty much everybody's video today, guys. Definitely drop a like if you did enjoy it. I would appreciate it so much. Leave a comment down below. What do you think happened? What do you think the phone call is? What do you think, how do you think Reckless got to know about this news? I would love to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions, your stories, whatever. Subscribe, save today, and all my latest content. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. But until then, peace.